RM show at VOA Africa. This is Roger Muntu. You're listening to us as you do every Wednesday and Friday. And we want to thank you guys if you're listening from Ghana, from Nigeria, from all over. You're also watching us, of course, on social media. We want to thank you so much. We are continuing talking about equal world. About women. It was Women's Day on Sunday. And that subject was suggested by you guys. And do not forget to check us on live on Facebook. Roger Muntu, journalist, Roger Muntu, VOA. You should be able to see us in this show. There'll be so much thing to talk about. And of course, we have guests on this show. Do not step out. Stay with us. And do not forget to call us at +1 703 350 3731. Roger Muntu, Studio 2, Mic 3. We are here with Joanna, Jean-Louis, and we also have guests coming on this show today. Do not leave. Stay with us, and don't forget to call us and check us on social media. Joanna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's
how
great.
Are you?
It's great to
how
see you.
Doing?
I mean, it's crazy how we have you on the French show, and then you have you on English show again. You're like, what's going on, man? You know what I mean? What's next? Chinese?
Stop. Everything. French, Creole.
Yeah, exactly. Jean-Louis, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm doing good.
Can I have my cards? Do I have any card music? That'd be great. Joanna, introduce our guest today because you will introduce him way better than anybody in this building.
So, one of my personal close friends, his name is DJ Schemes. He's here with us straight out of the DMV area. He's originally from Brooklyn, a very known DJ around the area. He also works for 93.9 of different clubs around here. So you guys got to check him out. He's a really great person, but he's here with us.
And what we're supposed to do?
But we're about to get lit.
Come on, let's come in. DJ Schemes in the house, man.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Look, I just wanted her to do it, but I don't think she'll do it better than I can do it. But she did anyway. Look, it's such an honor, such a pleasure to have you here, man. You are an entertainer, and I know who you are. You just didn't know, and she didn't know that I know you are because I follow your work, and it's great work that you do. It's really awesome. Some people just don't understand what an entertainer do. I mean, how you guys affect people, you know, with what you do as a DJ. And on one of the biggest radio, and she was saying you're from Brooklyn. I'm African originally, but my state in the state is New York. So I'm also from Brooklyn. So I know what Brooklyn is, man. They just don't know. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They just don't know. So how you doing today?
I'm great, man.
Yeah.
No complaints. I'm happy to be here.
Right.
As you said, with Brooklyn, man, it's like a melting pot. So we really all family. No matter where we from. If you from Brooklyn.
Man, there's another guy from New York on the other side. Yeah, he's over there, George, right there. He's like, I know he feels us. He feels what we talk about. We're family everywhere we go, which is different from. Oh, Calvin is from Brooklyn. Calvin is on the other side. Hey, Calvin.
Brooklyn's definitely in the building.
See, Brooklyn's in the house because they knew DJ Scheme was coming in the house.
Yes, and I just came from Brooklyn this weekend too. So.
Well, that doesn't make you from Brooklyn.
Fine. Please don't play with me.
I mean, if you want to get a little bit, I mean, what do you want, a cookie?
Well, I have a T-shirt from Brooklyn.
Oh, please, man. Y'all just messes up. DJ Scheme. I mean, really, it's great having you. But for those who are listening to us, because they're listening to us worldwide, this is an international show. If they don't know where do you work and what do you do, what can you tell them about yourself?
Well, I can tell you that, like I said, I grew up in Brooklyn, but my family's originally from Jamaica, so worldwide is right up the alley.
Worldwide, baby.
And we've always been, you know, music influence and music based, so I was always around it, you know. And then I just took it serious in college and really built my craft. And you know, music just makes you feel a certain way, makes you feel good, and something about it just always kept my focus.
Exactly.
So even though I was going to classes, I couldn't keep away from the music. So I just kept it going. So as I get my degree, I'm still doing music.
Look, I know Jamaican parents, man. They're like African parents.
Man.
Did they let you do that, though?
Man.
I know it wasn't easy, though.
It was hard.
Yeah.
But eventually when they see, as I grew and the steps that I took it, they understand how serious it was. And if you don't limit yourself to one genre and you can play for everybody, then it's a lucrative business for you.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Wow, Jean-Louis, I don't know if you have a question. Just DJ came in the house, so you just heard. What do you have to ask him?
I mean, it's just it's good because he works for like a station.
Yeah.
Yes,
That man, I listen to the station all the time.
I know, all the time, right?
When I came to the state, that man KYS
Yeah.
man, that was
Yeah.
my
Hot.
station. That was my station there.
How did you get in there, man?
Well,
Some people think it's hard to get in there.
It's definitely hard.
Right.
I feel like I was going to a lot of DJ meetings, a lot of interactions with DJs that's already up there for about 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And eventually, you get the right opportunity, because one thing with people don't understand with radio, once somebody has a good position, like say a Donnie Simpson, you can be there forever.
Oh, yeah.
You could be there forever.
Tell me.
So those positions don't necessarily come up too
So
often.
often.
So it was just basically the right timing. Because you can get discouraged, like, I feel like I am very popular in the community or the places that I'm at, but I'm not on radio yet.
Exactly.
But it's just a timing thing. So once I got in there, I just, try to take advantage of it, learn everything I can learn, and I'm still there now, and I'm blessed. I'm happy for that.
Right, exactly. Let's get back to your music and who really influenced you as far as music, and you mentioned that you originally from Jamaica. Of course, music is Jamaica. Of course, duh. Brooklyn, you have all that.
Reggae.
But really, who really was your when you were listening, as you were growing up, who was like the artist you want to be like, wow, that guy just makes me want to be a DJ or just an artist or whatever?
I think for me, living in a Jamaican household, but growing up in Brooklyn, I had the influences of Bob Marley.
Yeah.
You have
Better say that name.
Barris Hammond.
Oh, yeah.
Beanie Man. And then you have Notorious B.I.G. Jay-Z.
What about Shabba Ranks, man?
Shabba was very hot for a very long time.
I know that.
Those backyard
I know
parties
that.
is
Yeah.
undefeated.
Right.
Those influences just, it makes you, I can't explain it, but if somebody's never been to Jamaica, if you can't go to a corner, a street without hearing music, and it doesn't matter if it's a so-called third world country, you could never know, because they enjoy it through the music, through the culture, through everything. They just make it work. And that's what I learned, and it never failed me. Music never failed me, so I try to keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. We're gonna ask Michelle to play that video where we're gonna see DJ Scheme on his studio and everything. If you can play just that little clip for us, we'll be able to see how that works. So let's look at. Are we gonna look at the screen? We're like, whatever. So let's just play.
Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Trap with the chickens like Popeye. Money changing colors like tie-dye. I'm just tryna get it, I ain't tryna die. She got a big ol' on your booty, make the world cry. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it, hold them bands down, hold your mans down. Who told you come around? It's that trap sound. Designer, clothes, fashion, shows, trap, house, made it, gold. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it, in the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it, in the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it, in the kitchen, wrist.
93.9 WKYS, you know what it is. KYSDC.com. It's me, DJ Schemes, The Mix Show. Hottest songs on radio.
Rose, we can go, coast. Keep watching me with Bob, still keep real and fame. Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. In the kitchen,
Wow. Man.
You're
Look,
too kind.
When I grow up, I want to be like you, man. When I grow up, everybody want to be like Mike. I want to be like DJ Scheme. I'm serious. I'm just saying. But, go ahead.
Like something maybe odd. See, whatever is going on right now with this coronavirus and stuff like that.
No, you have to bring that up, huh?
No, I mean, I'm not.
I know.
See,
Can you
We
just
had
let the
to
show
go
in,
there.
man? You want to go there really? Like, really, man?
No,
Dude.
because I know it talks to people.
Yeah.
People listen to him. So, like.
I'm just teasing you, man.
How do you,
Don't get personal.
how
I'm
do
seeing
you
you
cope
getting.
with it? Like your audience. How do you, work with that? Because I know, like a lot of people, they worry, they're scared, but being on the radio, you talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even some people that you don't know that you talk to them, but
Right.
still talk. So, what's your feeling about that?
Feels like the more you watch TV, the more you get nervous about it, and the audience is definitely concerned. We're trying to give them the best advice to deal with it, because it's crazy, because you don't know what's real and what's not real. We're not sure about how many people are really affected or how many people are really getting tested. So we're trying to make them as comfortable as can. But I mean, you're gonna be nervous because it's all over the news. And for me, even like if I do an event outside of radio, there's still people that comes out, and those people kind of are not as afraid, because a lot of people would stay in their house and do things like that. But even for me, when I DJ, I carry a pack of wipes, disinfectant wipes. So
that's right.
After 3 handshakes, I'm wiping down just in case.
Just in case. Just in case.
So I mean, but at the same time, I don't know how true this is. I heard that out of all the cases, there's not been one case of a black person having the coronavirus. So we might be okay. We might be immune.
Might be okay.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Yeah.
Joanna, you have a question.
Okay, so knowing you and your platform and everything that you've done as a rising icon in our community, what are some bonds you have built with the artists that you've worked with?
I think the good thing about being in this area and our radio station more than anything is that we're the hub. So we're the main Radio 1 facility. So a lot of artists come in and out.
And we see some pictures too. I don't know, Michelle was showing us some pictures. We're going to see some pictures again as you keep talking.
But it's cool because you build these relationships with these artists because they want their music played as well. They're getting booked to come in the area again.
Right.
So a lot of times when they're in the area, you'll see them. They'll have special dinners, meetups. So it's cool to be the first person to get their certain music or for them to want to shout you out in a song or anything like that.
Right.
So that's pretty cool because before that these people are like, oh my God, that's Jay-Z, that's whoever, and they wasn't in arm's reach. Right. So now they're almost in arm's reach, and that's kind of cool.
And one more question. Well, I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Come on, man, you checking my show?
I'm sorry. I'm stealing it from you.
Gotta watch out. It's women's month.
I know.
Look, it's women's Sunday, women's month.
Yeah, month. That's right.
How do you feel about becoming like a tour DJ if given the opportunity for celebrity?
Actually, that's the one thing that I haven't done yet, and people always ask me why I haven't. And for me, honestly, the DMV has kept me very busy here. So between clubs, weddings, and corporate events is very busy. So it just have to make sense numbers wise, but that's a blessing because I have a friend that he's a sound engineer on tour. So it's really cool to see him go to these different countries and experience things. And I've never been to Europe. I've been on like a lot of the Caribbean islands. So if a tour would take me to these different places and I can build a rapport, and I wouldn't even do it with necessarily an artist that is already on. It would be cool to do it with somebody that's building and becoming great superstar, just working there, because that way you can say you was there from the ground up. It's an opportunity I would definitely do. It just has to be the right.
Now we're gonna go to music, listen to music in a few seconds. But my question before we move into music is, of course, you're a DJ. You know music. I don't care if you don't like country. I know you know what country is. But what do you think about Afrobeat, man? What do you think about Davido and all this? What do you think?
Fastest growing popular music I've seen in a very long time. I love it. Davido, all these guys that really stay consistent with it. It's crazy, and it's so mind-boggling how much people ask for the music in the clubs on a regular basis. And I think people need to embrace it more because it's fun music. It makes you just want to dance. The women love it. If they love it, I love it.
And you love it. You're the DJ.
Yes,
all right. We're going to play some music and we'll be right back. And if you guys have any questions, don't forget to ask DJ Scheme a question on +1 703 350 3731.
What else? You know some money no be problem. Let's go. Yeah, me and me home for boy for every day be down, come the Joe draw. What am I come to team into mentos boy? But you man the assignment and mad door. I don't wanna reminisce how we used to be. I don't think you even know what you mean to me. When you mean your macada with a new release, I miss you, and you be my new disease. Would you know me? Will you be my boo for life? Come on, come home, I mean I don't feel survive. You took my day, I don't need to see your time. Really wanna see your face, we could meet for Sky. But I'm a dog, you say, what you mean, Pena? What say you're good out with the bad in China? Then she was a wins you fan hammer. And you're brown, and you're twice for him. Meet your mama, oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa, oh yeah. Said I want to meet your mama, oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa, oh yeah. You made me wanna put down the one nini, put down the one nini, eh. Put down the one nini, put down the one nini, eh. Put down the one nini, put down the one nini, eh. Put down the one nini, put down the one nini. You will see get you don't do. And I say a corner bone one. But come under the name one is a kunku. Say me, you will want to cry at the long run. Men are middle shooting up with a princess. Hold on, this is me, this is a rebounds. What am I saying? I'm a mouth back on. I can see me, get you with you for 8 months. Shall they make a do the fit talk? Obo me di ana me boajo. Oja me hwa just a photo. But you so be kissing am me raho. Ole bu dem that one day. Cause makoma ko dim rough. Tene ka pena bibi ya makoma jina say want to be na
Said I want to meet your mama. Oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa. Oh yeah. Said I want to meet your mama. Oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa. Oh yeah. You made me wanna put down the one in it. Put down the one in it. Put down the one in it. Put down the one. You made me wanna put down the one in it. 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 Start with a high, let's sing hello. Whoa, my baby go low. And now we at the high, start off for the low. Yeah, now bring it back up. She got me at the high, even on the low. Whoa, my baby go low. Why would I say goodbye? She out with a hoe. I know they can't want it, really want it. Together we gon' find the blue. Yeah, yeah. Let's see you like an envelope. Yeah, yeah. You will never be on the road. Yeah, yeah. So baby, come over, baby. Yeah, yeah. Cause together we gon' find the globe. Yeah, yeah. Let's see you like an envelope. Yeah, yeah. You will never be on the road. Yeah, yeah. Then she turned around and I told her, said I want to meet your mama. Oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa. Oh yeah. Said I want to meet your mama. Oh yeah. And I want to meet your papa. Oh yeah. You made me wanna put down the one in it. 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 Put down the one in it.
Everybody, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody, let's go. Let's go.
Sarkodie, that's Sarkodie, Afro music. If you're listening from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Juba, you're listening to the RM show here at VOA. This is Roger Muntu from VOA Africa. Don't hesitate to check me out on my Twitter, VOA RM show, or on my Facebook, Roger Muntu, VOA. And of course, send me an email at rmuntu@voanews.com. DJ's here in the house with us today, and he's so good, man. He's not afraid. Bring the questions, man. He's a DJ. He's ready to son.
I have a question.
Oh, God. Hold on. Let me have a question. May y'all take time.
But you said if you have a question, I have a question.
Hold on. DJ Skim, we know that you're passionate about music. You're a hard worker, and you've been in the industry for minutes, and you met all these superstars and artists. And if there's a young man or woman out there listening to us, listening to you, I'm sure some of them probably have advice to ask you. What would you tell them about this industry of being a DJ or music or whatever? What would you tell them?
I think this industry really wants you to do the work first before they would kind of take a chance on you. But nowadays, it's almost like a gift. You want the gift to be nicely packaged, so they already want you to be very popular or known in your community, in your area. They want the social media aspect, the YouTube, to be very prominent. So it's funny how you really think you need like labels and things like that, but it's not until after you do all these things.
Right.
But even after that, you might not really need them because your buzz is so big. So I would say to anybody upcoming, work on your social media craft, work on your streaming. All those things are very important. They pay attention to all that stuff. It makes it easier for them to say, okay, we want to give you $1 million advance to put your music out there to the masses, or we want to help you. So don't look for anybody else to do the work. Do the work first, and everything else will fall in line.
Man, that sounds like advice that goes everywhere across the board, man. Do the work first. You had your question, man. You had
Yeah, no, me it's like more up close and personal.
Are you married?
No.
No, my question is, who is like the one person, the one artist that when you saw that person, you met that person, you say like, wow, this was memorable. Like, who was that person?
I think for me, last year I went to OVO Fest in Canada, in Toronto. And that's the Drake Fest where he brings out everybody for the 2 days. So the first day is the R&B day. I missed that day. I didn't go that day. The Monday, he brings out every popular artists you can name at the time. So we're talking Megan Thee Stallion, The Baby, Little Baby. He brings out Chris Brown. You know they had a situation. They're performing together. Gucci Man, he couldn't even get into Canada, and somehow he pulled strings. It was the best show I've seen in a very long time, and the way his performance was very good. That really spoke to me. And also, I don't know if you guys went, but P. Diddy had his Bad Boy concert here.
Oh yeah, I heard that one. Yeah.
I felt like I was in New York. I felt like I was in.
I'm sure you.
Oh man, DMX, Total.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's why I bring it back in the
Oh
days,
man, it felt so good.
Yeah,
it felt so good. Those two performances, I was like, I respect them because
I feel you.
You gotta be different to go up there and really put your energy into. Some people just go up there and they stand and they rap and you don't feel it. I felt it. I felt it. Yeah, for sure.
That was a good question, right?
That's a good question.
Great question.
John is here. John has a question. Yep.
Okay, so I see that you met Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace. That's right.
Yes. How did you feel about that whole situation dealing with him and how everything went down with him?
Yeah, how'd you
his
feel?
passing, that you met him as an artist?
It was unfortunate because his energy is very contagious. Like he just had this great vibe about him. When he came to see us at the radio station, it was all love. It was nothing like, I'm the Hollywood guy. You know what I mean? He just was him. And to see something like that happen, it's crazy because you think, okay, I can just post something and show people that I'm living a good life, and this whole time is alternative motives. So it was just troubling because now you got to wonder what you post and how you post. Even if you're just a person working in a regular building or whatever, if you're popular on social media and you got to pay attention. So it's a bigger message there, but it's so unfortunate because he was so passionate about the music that he had coming out. I met him about October. The music that he wanted, that he had coming out for this year, it made me excited because he all his music very party, and then he played some stuff with us where he had some female features, and like this boy can actually he can actually do it. He's not a one trick pony. He had a lot of different type of
acting too.
Oh man, the vibe. He would have did a lot of things because some people are one hit wonders.
Right.
Not him. He had music.
Right.
He had music for sure. So it was unfortunate.
That was a very good question you asked, because I mean he got to meet him in person, so he probably. Before we move on to my other artists and guests in the show, DJ Scheme, I'm going to ask you this question because every week on the show we also have a theme or a question that we ask, right? And this is the Women's Month, right? Because it was the International Women's Day on Sunday, which is a time for us to reflect on different progress made, if I should say, to call for change and celebrate act of courage and determination by ordinary women out there that we see. Do you think that the world's in the eyes of the woman, it's equal today when it comes to men? Equality between men and women?
No, I don't think it's equal.
Yeah.
I think it should be. I think women are doing a lot of things that's very prominent and it shouldn't get overlooked. You have the women's sports, you have women in politics, things like that. It's all different kinds. Even women in the music industry as well. You know,
we were just talking about it.
We're shedding some more light on people like Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, and all these people coming up. But it should definitely
Cardi B,
exactly. It should definitely a bigger lane. And I don't know what equal looks like, but I know this is not what it looks like. So they should definitely work towards it because, I mean, I don't see a downside to it.
Right.
And I feel like with all this time that has passed,
would you say there was some progress that had been made?
That's what I'm saying. Right, exactly. More than there's definitely been progress, but there's definitely way more room, and it should be addressed. It shouldn't be swept under the rug. So yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's true. It's not equal. Some places it's more than some other places where they get respect and they start getting a place at the table, but some of the places is still behind. So I think one group has to help the other group kind of like bring them up to so that it be on the same level.
Yeah, and it's really about what's been taught. If you have these old thoughts and all these old rules being passed down, then you're never gonna break the cycle. So the more we teach people that this is the better way, the other way was the wrong way, then we'll kind of slowly break through it.
Let's go. Do we have her right now? Okay, when we get her, we'll talk to her directly. So let me introduce my other guest, Lucius YBE. I like that name. YBE is from originally from Senegal, and he is a rapper. He's an entertainer also, and he's also the president or CEO, if I should say that, of the YBE, which is a Young Believers Entertainment. Correct? We want to thank you for coming in this show.
Thank you guys.
It's great. Yeah, thank you so much. So what I like about this show is you get to meet DJ Scheme.
There you go. That's why I was listening.
You make the music, play the music.
Don't tell me that Roger, I never met the DJ in your show.
I
You know what I'm saying?
I won't say that.
Anyway, tell us a little bit about you, about your career. When did you start making music? And I was saying that you're originally from Senegal, but now you music, you actually you started music in the U.S., right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how did it all start?
Okay, so I was like the owner of the label that you just named,
Right.
YBE.
Right.
So I sign American artists, African artists,
Right.
I build them, and then we sell them for the biggest record label here or whatever around the world.
So you guys get them first and then sell them to bigger
Yes,
records,
we
record
get them
label.
first and then we build
Work with
them.
them. Okay,
You know,
okay.
so because we have a big
Right,
vision, you know,
right.
we create a lot of collaboration between them, like
Yeah.
American artists,
Right.
between African artists,
Right.
and then we put them on the map. We shoot video, we do everything, and
Right.
we spend a lot of money in promotion for the
wise.
world to see
Yeah.
what they're doing. And then from that, we take them at the end of the year every December in Senegal, do a lot of tour show, and then that's where they get big.
Right.
When we come back here, like he said, you gotta build yourself first.
Right.
When you build yourself, the industry is looking. They're always looking for the next one. So when they see, they call us, and then that's what we make.
Right.
How we make things happen here in the US.
Here in
in
the US.
Africa is another thing. In Africa we gotta change the mentality. We gotta give we gotta free the mind, and that's another work. But it's like what we're doing is just a win-win. It's
Right.
just both sides. We're doing something for American people and we're doing something for African people. So putting them together in the same box, give them power, where they're from.
Right. So and you're saying that you guys you work with so many artists like American, Africans, and from all over. And you just heard DJ Schemes talking about how Afro music it's taking. It's
Yeah.
it's getting crazy right now.
Oh, that's true.
So do you guys look into that as well, or
Oh,
you just
yeah.
want to stay into like the regional American rap, hip hop kind of?
No. So the music video you watch, it was me here. But what we're doing is just different. We're just trying to bring a different vibes. Like the Afrobeat did. And I told you in
Right.
French, we use the mbala. There is a lot of things.
The
about
mbala,
word.
which is the traditional. The
Music
mbala is a
from
traditional
Africa.
music or dance?
Music.
It's music, huh?
and dance.
From
and
Senegal.
it's very unique.
Right.
So every time we use it here in the US,
Right.
we went platinum.
So yeah, that's a really good that you're talking about that. I'm gonna ask DJ Schemes about this, right? Why would music like reggaeton or ragamuffin, whatever, mix it in the US, but other music can't really make it? What would you think the problem is?
I don't know if
Yeah.
there's necessarily a problem. I just feel like, certain things with certain genres of music,
Yeah.
just people just like it. It flows good.
Is it the beat? Yes, the floor.
It's the beat.
Yeah.
It's the vibe. It just makes sense. And I feel like the Afro beats did such a great job of that, because at one point in time you had reggae really doing its thing, dancehall.
Oh yeah, dancehall and all. Right.
Where you could hear it a lot on radio and things like that, and maybe in New York more than any place.
New York way more than any place
But
else.
now with Afro beats,
Right.
it's getting the light shiner, and the music sounds amazing. And I don't think it's like a phase. I think it's here to stay. The talent that's coming out of Africa and Nigeria and Ghana and all these places, Senegal. Oh my God, they're very talented.
And we've seen those American superstars. We've seen Kanye West. We've seen P. Diddy dancing over those Afro music. So that's
Drake doing all the
Drake
features
doing all the feature with them, right?
Yeah,
Wizkid and them.
And now Rotimi.
Yeah, Rotimi,
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a lot of them.
Right.
I think it's an evolution. It's grown because I remember Bob Marley. He was filling up stadiums in Europe, but when he came to America, at the time reggae wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
So
Right,
it's an evolution. It gradually
Bob Marley was
grows.
working hard on it, and
Yeah.
he told that.
Right.
He was hard, man.
But
Look at now.
he put himself out there, and then he put the old country,
Right.
the old genre of music, up there. So I think it's an evolution.
You think it takes time? That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, and technology is helping because it's easier now to listen to things from way out there somewhere,
yes,
and be able to say, "Oh, this is great. I can mix it with this and then produce something else." So, I think it's amazing.
So we're gonna do something that I never done before. We're gonna watch your video and music, and we're gonna have the judge. DJ Schemes to tell us if he'll play this on his station. Let's see.
What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful. What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful. Born mad or dead, I stay black. I gotta secure the back, cause I'm black. You better to know your future. So many hair on my back, ripping maybe, black and yellow for the young, call it mumblebee. Everything white, so I cannot really see. Cut you off, cut you wanna really on. I don't tease, guessing paper, stay away, header. If you give it in a regular, stop feeding this hoe like a bill on your cellular. Loyalty and something that you got, breathing on your tongue. I'ma stay in this business like you come. What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful. What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful.
This one's for my big bro, cause Lord knows I miss him. Bear witness to my pain from police violence, he the victim. I'm the judge and jury in my court, never ever would I dismiss him. But they shooting, they kill right up on the hill here and there, see another Christmas. Just to see my dead folks is the only thing on my wish list. When I try to sleep, I toss and turn, cause I wasn't made with forgiveness. So I separate feelings from business. Hit me a J while I pop me a Guinness. It feel like my feelings got strung up the spinach. I'm here for good purpose and will not diminish. Stay with the racket like I'm playing tennis. You started the test, so I must come and finish. The meter is broken and I have no limit. No intermission, I'm just a beginning. That's why I'm repenting for all of my sinning. A couple of ills, but I'm still here winning. A pool full of pain, but I won't go swimming. Eyes wide shut and they all look timid. I'm ready to blow.
What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful. What they say, you ain't never gonna make it. So what they say, you will die in the street. What they say, you will never ever graduate. So what they say, you will never be successful.
They say that, but we see you counting money. Well, it didn't work. DJ, what do you think?
I heard the song
and
earlier.
Be honest, please. I know you're an honest man.
I didn't know what I thought about it. And
okay.
Now that I'm paying attention to the video, it's cool because he really is fusing both. American and African, and it's different to the ear, but at the same time, as I'm looking at the message is good, the beat is good, and I think it's something that people haven't really heard yet, so you don't really hear something like that on the radio with the fusion. So even though the voice is raspy, it has an accent to it, but it's like in a hip hop form, it's like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah. It's something.
So it's something that can definitely work, because if you try to get it to the American people and the international people,
this is definitely the style,
But as far as however you put it together, very unique, very different. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool, because sometimes those type of songs take off because
that's true.
It changes the air's like, oh my god,
yeah, what is that?
It's not the same.
Exactly.
So it's definitely different. I like that.
And would you say, Lucius YBE's music and accents, as you just said, today, that song can be heard on the radio, but 10, 20 years from now, ago,
Probably not.
Probably not,
Probably
right?
not. But
Right.
because it's so unique and different.
And do you think that Afro music had something to do with this? Would you say? Because when you listen to Wizkid, you see Wizkid has an accent. When you listen to Davido on the radio, he has an accent also.
Yeah, definitely influences.
Even though I guess Davido was born and raised in Atlanta, right? But even though when he speaks,
accent.
American, but you still hear the accent when he sings.
Very, very important. And I think as well as important is that it's just something about people having these distinct voices, these distinct ad libs when they're in their music. It just stands out to certain people, and they are attracted to that right now. So it's definitely a very unique thing to have, for sure.
Wow.
And music is all about vibes.
And attitude. And attitude too, because listen to Bob Marley, man, I was like, man, I'm listening to him because I'm trying to understand what he's saying, and it makes sense. He has an accent, it was like a singing accent, but it was beautiful, and I just loved it. And it wasn't that, it was just his attitude and what he was saying. It just worked.
It just worked. Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about Afro B with my name in it, Joanna, the song that became popular? I know, that's
one of the biggest songs.
He was thinking about me. It's okay.
Look, man.
No, let me tell you. I had messaged him.
You always have to bring that up when we talk about it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Listen, I had messaged him. I was like, "Oh my God, you know the song has my name in it." He was just like, "I found my Joanna." I said, "You know what?" And he was just like, "I wish I knew you before. I would have had you in the music video." I said, "Hello."
Oh yeah, next time when you.
Okay, so she's from Brooklyn, and he made the song about it.
There you go.
Look.
You said it's all right.
You see, I'm the only girl here, y'all.
You're just digging your own grave. That's what I'm just saying. But so you're saying, Lucius, you work with all these artists, but here in the U.S. and you started music here. But you play basketball, man. In Africa, you play basketball. You went to Morocco, you played basketball, and then you came here, but it didn't work because you got injured, right?
After I signed with the Spurs.
Yeah. Wow.
It happened to me, but thank God I signed before I got injured.
Dude, how tall are you, man?
I'm short. I'm a point guard.
Well, how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
6?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 6'3". I dunk on your face.
I jump.
I put money on that game. I'll put money on that game.
I know.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, totally. So we'll talk about your career also, and then all the other any difficulty if there's any of you developing this business. But let's go back to Ghana to speak with Dorcas. She's listening to us in Ghana right now. Dorcas, how you doing? Can you hear us?
I'm doing well, Roger. How are you doing?
We great, man. How you doing? How's Accra? How's Ghana doing? And I heard that all African American, Jamaican, everybody's there now, man. Everybody's chilling in Accra now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are like the participants, so we are waiting for all of you to come to Roger.
Are you waiting for us to? Are you inviting us?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you gonna give us passports and the green card? I mean, Ghanaian green card or something, whatever.
You don't need a green card.
All right.
I like that place.
That's great. I was there like and that's when I met Dorcas. I was there in December, I guess. And I tell you guys, when I was there for like 2 weeks. And when I was there, the day I arrived, the next day, there were like 400 Jamaican swearing to get the Ghanaian passports.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because the president opened the country and welcomed them to come home. So they were there, swearing to get their passports. I was like, wow, this is great. Yeah. And they're starting business. I interviewed some of them. Yeah. They're starting businesses. They're doing great.
That's a big step.
Yeah. I don't understand what Dorcas is telling me. Roger, I want to come see you in America. No, stay there. It's great. I want to come there.
They want change.
I'm just saying. Listen, Dorcas, we want to know what your view on, the subject of the week. We're talking about equality between men and women today. If there's anything that needs to be improved today, or you personally, and I know you work with so many things. You do a lot. You're a journalist, and you also work with young women in Ghana to help them also empower young women to understand. So you probably be the best person to tell us about this theme of this week or this year, Women's Day, which is to keep on fighting as far as the equality, between men and women. What do you think about that so far today?
I think that it's just fair that we have this kind of conversation from time to time, because we all are in a society where there's a culture that's good today and that same culture is no good tomorrow. And so we can't really say that it is one person's fault that there's a very unfair and unequal world where people have merits based on their agenda. But we can only also say that in as much as we keep having these conversations, we are not just talking, but we talk and then we do. I think that we all in this studio, or all of us in this conversation, cannot deny the fact that in recent times, the topic of gender equality has become one of the most widely discussed social issues of our time, where we have a lot of women pulling up as advocates, and even some men trying to make sure that there is a platform for both men and women to be able to express what they really want and how they really want to be treated. And so for me, I think that it's just fair that we give everybody the opportunity to be able to explore their potential regardless of their agenda.
The United Nations thinks that the world has made unprecedented advances, but no country has achieved gender equality yet. And that's what also DJ Scheme was also talking about that, which was actually right. But in the meantime, like legal restrictions have kept 2.7 billion women from accessing the same choice of jobs as men. Less than 25% of women working like in Parliament and Senate and things like that were women as of 2019. Only 1 in 3 women experience gender-based violence still today in 2020. What's your take on that?
Yeah. I think that I have access to all these facts.
Yes.
And Roger, I keep having this conversation with you almost every day, that if we want to achieve an equal world, if we want to have a world where our development is at its peak, whether for all countries and for the world at large, then we have to make sure that we are including women in all aspects of the world, whether in economy, whether in football, whether in engineering, whether in math. We have to make sure that women have equal representation at all of these places. And so you find out that, Roger, we can have these conversations on the surface if we are not really looking at what is causing all of these figures that we have now, what is causing all of the panic and the fear. It's all based on our social orientation. And so I grew up in a home where if there's a laptop to be given, it will be given to my brother instead of my sister, because it is believed that the man, has to have prowess in technology. And for the woman, if you know how to cook a few dishes, that should be okay for you. And so right from age 5 or 10, you as a girl, you begin to believe that, okay, let me just get a degree and go marry. Let me just maybe get a diploma and marry. I don't really have to stress about going to get a master's and a PhD and going to parliament. No, that's not for me. And so you realize that you are advocating for the rights of women. You are advocating for the representation, but you don't even have a lot of the women who want to come out themselves that they want to do this.
Dorcas, what you're saying, I have to tell you though, I was talking to some other African young lady who also say that sometimes it's also like African mothers who tell you, like, no, a woman is not there to keep on going to school and get PhDs and blah blah blah. You need to get married, and so in some points, and I'm not trying to accuse them, but I'm saying. Those moms, they don't make things better either. I'm just saying.
So that's what I'm saying, that we have an orientation where our mothers think that for the women, the farthest you can go is to be a nurse or to be a teacher. And so she doesn't want to, it's not as if you become something better than that, she's not happy with it.
Right.
But she feels as if you're trying too much because she didn't even have access to that in the first place.
Because she didn't have that opportunity.
Exactly. If you have access to being a nurse, then that should be okay. You see, Roger, and I keep saying this thing over and over again, that immediately the topic of inequality is raised, immediately the topic of girls not getting access to education is raised, we lower the causes and the factors to girls not having access to reading and learning materials, girls not having access to sanitary pads, forgetting that there are a lot of cultural barriers that are stopping these girls from getting access to education. Because somebody could actually use one exercise book for 7 courses and still pass your exams, you know?
Right.
But it's the cultural factors that stop girls from going to school, if there are cultural factors that stop girls from taking leadership roles in their community, then what kind of empowerment do we even have to give girls? And so I think that let's not narrow the causes of inequality and women not being able to take leadership positions to unavailability of infrastructure, reading and learning materials, sanitary pads. Yes, those are very huge factors as well, very major ones that affect girls. But let's look at the cultural barriers. Let's look at whether, like you said, whether mothers and fathers think that their girls are worthy or girls deserve education, or their girls also deserve to go to a master's degree or to. Do you understand? So the cultural factors that are stopping the girls are more than the infrastructural factors that we're facing. And so let's look at how, as a society, we can have a reorientation.
Orientation, that's important.
We can bring up both boys and girls to understand that either of you can become an engineer, either of you can become a doctor, either of you can become a nurse.
Okay, what do you do, and I'm finishing with this question, what do you do in your organization to help those young girls that you speak to on a regular basis? What do you do concretely?
Okay, so for me, Rosa, I really think that providing information is the best thing you could do for anybody. Even though sometimes you have to go beyond the information to make sure that you're actually providing the things that you keep talking about. But you see, Rosa, the problem is that solutions are very... We don't have sustainable solutions to these long-lasting problems. And so you find that we're giving sanitary pads to 200 girls in a community. And the question is that the next month when they have their menstrual period, we still go there to give them sanitary pads? No. And so this month, you give them sanitary pads. The next month, you leave them to, find their own sanitary pads on their own. Why don't we provide long-lasting solutions like maybe providing life learning skills for these girls to be able to have a skill themselves, to be able to do something for themselves, to be able to buy those sanitary pads for themselves. So for us, we just make sure that we're providing these girls with the necessary learning and reading materials.
Tools,
So for me, I think that education is everything and anything you could give to anybody.
Bob Marley used to say that. Education, man.
Yeah. Because a well-educated girl stands a chance of making healthier choices about her life.
Right.
A well-educated girl has a chance of even helping the whole nation to eradicate poverty. And we have a saying in Ghana that if you educate a girl, you educate the whole nation or the whole world. So for me, I think that providing a girl child with education is like actually giving her exactly like giving her the necessary tools that she actually needs to maneuver her ways in life. And so for us, we just make sure that we go to communities, we go to schools, and we provide girls with learning and reading materials as well as information, and provide career mentorship and guidance sessions for all these girls. So basically, that's what we do.
Wow. Can we clap a hand for Dorcas? Dorcas, thank you so much for the time. I don't know what time it's in Ghana right now. You're probably in bed. We woke you up, didn't we? Dorcas, we want to thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Dorcas. And you're always there when we need you.
All right. Welcome, Roger.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Michelle, we're going to listen to, there's sound of DJ Skim there. Let's listen to some of his mix, man. And we'll be right back. And you guys, if you need to talk to us, don't forget to send us a message on WhatsApp on +1 703 350 3731.
If you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on. It's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up. Don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how
my bag, but I'm in his too. And that's why every time you see me, I got some new shoes.
93.9 WKYS.
Look, I'm a star, got these niggas wishing. He say he hungry, this the kitchen. Yeah, that's my dog, he gon' sit down and listen. Call him a trick and he don't get a holler. I'm a star, got these niggas wishing. He say he hungry, this the kitchen. Yeah, that's my dog, he gon' sit down and listen. Call him a trick and he don't get offended. He know he giving his money to Megan. He know it's very expensive to date me. Told him go put my name on that account because when I need money, I ain't tryna holler. He know he giving his money to Megan. He know it's very expensive to date me. Told him go put my name on that account because when I need money, I ain't tryna wait. I can't be with, no, you can't touch this. Ayy, wish I do rich, my money thick, ayy, walk with a limp, I'm on some pimp shit. Ay, he say you all about money, yeah. I'm on that cash, I'm in my bag, I'm on your eye, I'm in that new, you on that last year, I do pimp, you on simp, ay. He say you all about money, yeah. I'm on that cash,
You know how these bitches love me? Why? Cause baby don't give a what you do. I be fixing the weed while she sucking my dick, pull it out, then I I cut from the back and she nasty, killing her. Know how I give it up. I be cool on them, ain't no pressure. Till I met this little freak, her name Maggie. This little thing here style. Look how she walk, look how she talk, she sexy. I like when they pretty and ghetto. Type of bitch that don't even say hello. And whenever we she be fucking me back. Put her in the headlock with my elbow. Now she done reversed. Got a bone and can ride this shit like a Camaro.
I can't be with, no, you can't touch this. Ayy, bitch, I do rich, my money thick, ayy, walk with a limp, I'm on some pimp shit. He say you all about money.
RM Show, this is Roger Muntu, Studio 2, Mike 3, Joanna, I know you're moving when you listen to this music, man, and tell me, because I have to ask you this, man, you don't live in this place, how did you meet DJ Schemes?
No, it's so funny because I'm gonna block some stuff out.
Oh yeah. Look.
Okay, so it was for
it's your life, I don't care.
No, it was for my 23rd birthday actually. Well, I knew of him before him, but I actually physically met him. Hey, what's up and everything on my 23rd birthday. At this place in DC that
You're like, who's playing that music?
No.
But
okay. Yeah,
it wasn't like that.
DC,
Okay. I was trying to help, but it just not working.
No, and then and then we met again and we actually had a conversation at Society Lounge, which is located in Silver Spring, Maryland. They have it's like known as an African spot too.
Right.
Great food. But he also DJs there too. So
Man,
and at Rose Bar.
I remember her birthday party.
You remember that party?
Joanna, happy birthday, Joanna. I wonder who is this Joanna person. I've never shouted out a Joanna a day in my life until that night.
Until that night, because my best friend knew him. So my best friend knew him, and then and doing what grown-ups do. And so I'm like, hey, and thank you. And then we actually spoke. We had a conversation at Society, and then we introduced ourselves. And then from there on out, we ended up becoming cool with each other. So then I asked him, is it okay for him to come on the show? And spoke to you, and there he is. He's amazing.
It's crazy.
Look, to this team, I know we held you here for an hour and a half. We really want to thank you. We have another studio right across the hall over there, and that's on Tuesday. We actually... Okay. I lied to them that I DJ, but I don't DJ. I bring my stuff, but I don't know how to DJ. Okay. So one of these days, man, if you have time, we'll love for you to come. We'll bring materials there. You just spin things for us.
I'm down.
Really?
Yeah. Tuesdays is my easiest day.
Oh, my God. That'd be great. You will love that studio because it's all set up for mixing and things like that. Okay. So we'll love to have you one of these days.
Of course.
When you have free time or whatever. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Now, how do people get in contact with you if they want? Because you do a lot of stuff. I mean, they need to know how to get in contact with you.
I think the best way to contact me is via the website djschemes.com or Instagram or Twitter, which is at djschemes. That's the best way to contact me, and I usually write back pretty consistent. And I always have my phone.
And you're very expensive.
I like you. You want to manage me? I like that.
YBE, I want to thank you so much for coming, and for those who are listening to YBE, how do they get in touch with you, YBE?
Okay, so you can follow me on my IG or email. Email is easier because we have just one big email where anybody can reach out to us. It's USAfricaEntertainment@com.
All right, guys,
@gmail.
Gmail, yeah. Gmail. Don't forget the Gmail. I was like, well, you don't want them to go somewhere else.
I'm hungry.
Thank you, guys.
I'm fasting right now.
I thank you guys. I thank the whole staff. I thank Rob McLean, Nelson, Michelle, Joseph. Thank you, George. I want to thank Lionel. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You just came for coming. And Jean-Louis. As we say, God bless. Peace, Africa.